Thanks very much for staying with us. Time now for Eye on Africa with me, Georgia Calvin-Smith. Tonight, the mother of the only Nigerian schoolgirl still in Boko Haram captivity after the extremists released 104 of her classmates says that her daughter was blocked from boarding the vehicle to freedom because she refused to convert from Christianity to Islam. Also, in Guinea, civil society groups are warning that they've seen a sharp uptick in online hate speech and xenophobic incitement to violence. Some are doing what they can to stop inflammatory exchanges becoming the norm. And Nigerian politicians are banned from heading out of the country if in search of medical treatment. Authorities want their top lawmakers to show their support for the skills of staff at a brand new state-of-the-art hospital built in the capital. We take a closer look. But first, the lone schoolgirl still being held by Boko Haram after the extremists released 104 of her classmates this week was reportedly turned back at the last minute. Her friends say that she was about to board the truck as they were returned by their captors when she told the jihadists that she refused to convert from Christianity to Islam. 110 girls were originally taken from their school in Dapchi last month. 5 other pupils are still missing, and their fears they may not have made it. Those released have been flown to Abuja from their hometown of Dapchi and are due to meet with President Muhammadu Buhari on Friday. Sam Olukoya joins us with more. Sam, you spoke to the remaining Dapchi girl's mother. President Buhari has vowed that her daughter won't be abandoned. How's her family coping, and what do they know about how she was left behind?
The family is extremely devastated about the fact that the girl did not make it back. When I asked the mother, she said it was quite painful that of all the girls that came back, 104, her girl was about the only one missing. And when she asked her classmates and her friends, they said she was about boarding the truck. And then the Boko Haram militant said she has to convert to Islam before she can be allowed to gain her freedom. She was even handed the hijab to cover her body, and she said no, she wasn't going to do that because she's not a Muslim. And it was on that basis that the Islamists said she cannot regain her freedom.
President Buhari's statement didn't mention the 5 girls still missing. Are we any clearer about what may have happened to them?
Yes, I spoke with one of the parents of these remaining 5 girls, and he said it's very clear that the girls have died. He said his own daughter in particular was the first to die, and she died shortly after the abduction. They didn't make it far from Dapchi where this abduction took place, and she died, and they stopped the vehicle, buried the girl, and the 4 other girls died in this manner. The fact that President Buhari said only one girl has not returned, and he was silent about these other 5 girls, will be a clear indication that these girls are indeed dead after all.
And how likely is it that the remaining girl will still be rescued?
That looks quite complicated for a girl who is standing her ground at a stage when she was about to get her freedom, and she said she wasn't going to convert to Islam. And the girl who is being held in the hands of this extremist group. I think there's a stalemate here. I don't know whether the Nigerian government will, through their negotiators, tell her to accept, and then when she gets freedom, she could as well become a Christian. So definitely it's a stalemate. I don't think Boko Haram will want to lose face by allowing a girl to disobey their directive. They have all the powers. She's in their custody. And I think it will take divine intervention for the girl to go free without doing what they want.
Thanks very much. Samuel Okoye there for us in Lagos. This week, 44 African countries signed a deal to create one of the world's largest free trade blocs. However, Nigeria, the continent's top economy, refused to back the pact. Nigerian trade unions are worried that the free movement of workers could threaten local jobs From Lagos, Anna Cunningham reports.
Erisco Foods runs 3 factories in Nigeria, specialising in tomato-based products. Some 2,000 people are employed. But times have been tough, with power and transport problems. The boss does not believe Nigeria is ready to join the world's largest free trade bloc.
Now see, we are paying bank interest, we are paying staff salary, nothing. We work only once a week in this. One of them we work once a week. Is it right? Because no enough fund, because no enough market. It's frustrating all through. So I think signing of that thing should not be coming to near Nigeria in the 50 years' time.
The African Continental Free Trade Area aims to remove barriers to trade like tariffs and import quotas, allowing the free flow of goods and services between members. But there are many here who share Eric's concerns. In the textile industry, trade unionists want to protect their employees.
It is not about fear. It is about our reality. Our reality is that the companies, the factories in Nigeria are facing competition from smuggled goods. A lot of our materials are faked. A lot of our materials are counterfeited and brought into the country. So there's a lot of unfair competition already for this industry.
The African Continental Free Trade Area was seen as an opportunity to export Nigerian-made products. But in Nigeria, many want to see guarantees for a competitive market.
That bilateral agreement enables EU to bring their goods into Morocco. The moment those goods get in there, they can change the labels and say made in Morocco and bring them into Nigeria under the CFTA.
For now, these Nigerians are determined to protect themselves and their market of some 200 million consumers.
Guinea has seen a sharp uptick in online hate speech and xenophobic incitement to violence. All this in the midst of ongoing political unrest. Civil society groups are worried that this will continue to go on and are doing what they can to stop inflammatory exchanges becoming the norm. Our correspondent reports.
A bloggee, an association of Guinean bloggers, is trying to counter online hate speech. With the hashtag #IsolateHatred, a bloggee members are calling out the growing problem of online hate speech and incitement to violence towards certain communities.
It's called a social network, not a hate network. We should call these people arsonists because they incite violence and are stigmatizing one community after the other.
A bloggee and other civil society associations accuse political parties of exploiting the country's ethnic differences.
It's the media militia, it's the audience and web communicators who today find themselves on social networks spreading hate speech and inciting violence.
In Conakry, many Guineans say they're also worried about the inflammatory comments they come across on social media.
I have a Facebook account. Sometimes it's hard to go online because as soon as I see it, it really disgusts me.
Whether you're Fulani, Malinke, Susu, we are all Ghanaians and we condemn this.
These people are spreading bad ideas, and they can especially influence young people.
The 2016 Cybersecurity Act has never been implemented, although the minister in charge of telecommunications says this could soon change.
We have tools that allow us to identify the culprits, hunt them down, stop them and bring them to court. Despite the fact there has been no precedent, today the state has taken all the necessary measures to protect internet users.
With almost 1 million users, Facebook is by far the most popular social network in Guinea, according to statistics from 2016.
Niger's decided that its ministers and lawmakers can no longer seek medical treatment abroad unless it's absolutely necessary. Then they have to go to a modern hospital recently built in Niamey. Nicolas Chemin tells us more.
This modern hospital in Niamey was built last year by China. Doctors from China, Turkey, Cuba and Niger work here. The government announced that ministers and lawmakers can no longer seek medical treatment abroad. They will now have to come here. The hospital's manager said anyone in Niger was welcome.
This hospital is for everyone. We're proud that people from all walks of life come here. Everything goes well.
But representatives of the civil society said the new hospital is twice as expensive as anywhere else in the country.
When the state of Niger says it has opened a modern hospital in the capital, that means it has solved the problems of 1% of the population. Meanwhile, the other 99% have no medical protection. They have nothing.
In the streets of Niamey, there were mixed reactions after the government's announcement.
When you look at the situation this country is in, I think it's a good and important decision.
We hope that it'll be affordable, not only for members of the government, but for everyone.
The shortage of good hospitals in sub-Saharan Africa means the elite often go abroad when they are ill. In Kenya, for example, the media has just revealed that 11 lawmakers are currently being treated for cancer in India.
Well, that's it for Eye on Africa. Thanks very much for joining us, and do so again if you can. Take care.
Revisited, presented by Stuart Norval.
Since the 2014 Winter Olympics, nothing in Sochi is the same. But 4 years on, has the city seen the growth that Vladimir Putin dreamed of? Has Sochi become a must-go-to destination for foreign tourists? And what of the people of Sochi who were evicted for the construction of the Olympic site? Our reporter has been there down to the Black Sea coast and up into the mountains to see for herself.
Revisited on France 24 and France24.com.